You go between decks anytime, so look up from the pilot house on the upper deck, that's okay. You can stand up there, captain can be see by you, not a problem. We do ask if you go out there, wait for us to blow the whistle, since it's out there, don't want to be there when that happens. We'll do that right after we get knocked. Once you hear it, you can go around all you want. We have soft drinks, bottled water, and coffee on the boat. We have a couple snacks on the boat, hot pretzels, get them with or without salt or cheese. I may make the world's best popcorn on the boat. It's made in coconut oil. It's not good for you, it's $2. And you can feed ducks. They appreciate it. There's some long ducks that are little and they're only 5 inches tall and 10 feet. But there's some youngsters coming up that are super fast. My name's Gene. I'm one of the captains. Also do the narration on the boat. I'll be a deckhand on this trip. Fitz is the captain on this trip. He and his brother Stan are my sons. They're both captains. We own and operate the boat. It's not some big company.
The one building
Nice for running with us. And the U.S. Coast Guard requires the vessel to be no smoking, no breathing.
I might have $2. Is it really the world's best platform? Is it really the world's best platform? Is it made here on the boat?
Yeah.
As soon as we get sideways, we're going to pull on the boat again. It's on a white pylon and it's called the captain's window. If you look out there, right beyond him, you can see it up there. It's brass and bronze. This is called the Kellenberg triple chine. These were common on riverboats in the 1800s. Those were steam-powered vessels, so they used steam to blow them. They could do that all they wanted. We're diesel-powered, so we have to use compressed air. And you can only do that for about 7 seconds. It empties a 240-gallon air tank in that length of time. So it uses a tremendous amount of air. It works on the same principle as blowing across the top of a soda bottle. There's a large bronze casting with 3 circular slots, and above each one of those slots is an open bottom brass cylinder. Those cylinders are 3 different sizes, and that's why it's called a triple chine. Again, it's a Kellenberg triple chine. When the captain reaches up to pull the handle, if you close your eyes, you can almost imagine that you're on your way to Nolans. Too many horns you can feel when you blow them. I really do think it would be fun to put one of these on an SUV. I'm sure some of you looked down at the boat and thought it wouldn't fit under these bridges. Actually, it doesn't. We just go back and forth in here. Boats like this in the 1800s were called packet boats. And packet boats carried passengers and also carried a lot of cargo. Packet boat, on the lower level, they build a deck that extended about 9 feet on either side of the hull. Usually they'd stack cotton bales on those. Sometimes they'd stack them so high the captain could hardly see where he was going. It made them a lot of extra money, but it also caused a problem because sparks came out of the smokestacks and set fire to the cotton bales. Riverboats evolved very quickly with tall stacks, sometimes 60 to 70 feet high. In fact, every 4 years in Cincinnati, there's been a festival called Tall Stacks, where riverboats from all over the country come up the Mississippi and up the Ohio to Cincinnati, where you can ride on all different sizes of these vessels. The Tall Stacks solved the problem of setting fire to the cotton bales, but it caused another problem. As years went on, more and more roads were built. Therefore, bridges were built that they couldn't get under. So riverboats are one of the few vessels that have smokestacks that retract. The original design was to put a hinge at the bottom of the stack on the backside right at the deck. They would have lines hanging off the backside of the stack and lines hanging off the front going down to the E-frame on the bow. When they came to a low bridge, half the crew would get on the bow, half the crew would get behind the stacks. The crew in the back would pull back on the lines, while the crew in the front let the E-frame come up. The stacks would retract. After they did that, they cleared the bridge. They'd reverse that process. That was dangerous because the stacks were so tall and heavy. They were also hot and full of soot because they directly exhausted the boilers. Somebody finally figured out the problem was not the tall stack, it was just the top of it. So they simply moved the hinge up toward the top, put a counterweight on the outside so one person could easily tip them back. The top of our stacks weigh about 100 pounds, but when we pick up on the iron bar on the outside, they feel virtually weightless. The only problem in tipping our stacks back because they're not functional. They can't fill up with water, but that only affects people up here in the first class seats. We do have a name for it. We call it vertical baptism. We normally clear the bridge by about 18 inches. Rain navigation, an inch is a mile. If you miss something by an inch, it might as well be a mile away.
너는 맘 무서워. 이 플랜은 뭐 진짜 째져도 하지 못할래.
You want to remember that port is spelled with 4 letters, and so is left. Over on the port side, just under the water, near the shore, there's a piece of concrete. It's not always visible, but it's the last remaining piece of the sawmill that was there for many years. From 1850 to 1890, Saginaw Valley was the world's largest producer of white pine lumber. Every waterway in the state was used to put logs down to a sawmill, where it was cut up and shipped all over the world. That was true of this river, and that's also what that mill did. The Huger Mill was built just about any town you go to in Michigan that's on or near a waterway, someone can show you very large homes that were built by lumberers. 1850 to 1890. We're on the Cass River. The Cass was named after Lewis Cass. He was only 31 years old at the time. He had already been a brigadier general in the Army. He was appointed governor by the president because Michigan was still a territory. In fact, surveyors had gone back to Washington after looking over this territory and described it as an uninhabitable, worthless, infested swamp. So they didn't think too much of us. Lewis Cass had a much better image of this area. A lot of things here are named after him. Cities, streets, and also rivers. Also on the one side of the boat is a dike with a concrete wall on the top. That was put there in the 1950s by the Corps of Engineers. Before that was in place, Bracken Root was flooded every year. It was quite common, especially in the spring, to see rowboats on Main Street. The highest the water has been here that's been in place was 1986. The water went all the way up to the top of the concrete wall. It came within an inch of going over the top. If it would have been 4 feet deep in the very western marine 90, which is actually on the second floor. So the Corps of Engineers did a pretty good job figuring out what the 100-year flood level would be using slide rules before computers. Major improvements were made to the dike and a scenic river walk was added in 2020. Obviously, the other side of the river does flood. There's no dike on that side. But the very end lodge over there, for the most part, is built above the 100-year flood level. The yellow portion would have gotten wet, but it wasn't there then. The lodge originally was 100 rooms. Today it's 355. It also has an indoor 18-hole. It's built on the site of Weiss Farm, and the Weiss farmhouse set right. Those large architectural look like onion domes. Bavaria is a fairly large portion of Germany. At one time, it was a separate kingdom, and that's where the settlers in Frankenberg originated. The Cass River is very shallow. From our dock, it's the deepest portion of this part of the river. It's 12 to 15 feet deep there. Right here it's only 6 or 7 feet deep. But that's one of the advantages of a true flat bottom riverboat. This is built exactly like the Mississippi riverboat. The bottom is flat.
Ô thế lúc đó nó họ ta
The advantage
thế
of
tôi
that
chỉ
is
một
that
cái chế của họ lại
a
ở
tremendous
đâu
amount of weight. Even though the
Sơ
boat
sổ họ
weighs
lại
50 tons, it can add 150 passengers to that. There's only 24 inches of boat beneath the water.
họ ta cái gì
It sounds silly, but you can be standing in water a little above your knees,
ô
and we can float right by you, fully loaded. The paddle wheel does drive us forward and reverse. It's driven by a diesel hydraulic system. It is real. It's not fake. In fact, it only goes in the water 10 inches. A packet boat captain once said that a correctly designed packet boat
我只要
should
冇
be
喺頭
able
邊
to
那啲
float
冇
on
相
a
啲喎
morning dew.
你把住啲喎，幫媽媽冇個要補，幫補啲補車咯，就冇有啦嗬。嗰度嗰啲要賺好多啲啲二
Two
啲都咁
Frankenmuths had been converted to businesses, but these right here on the left, beyond the concrete wall, are still residences. That large brown house actually had a twin on the property where the Bavarian Lodge sits. When the lodge was built, parts of that home were used to expand this house and also do some
有邊媽媽冇攞地
architectural
見到咧，
corrections.
係住，好啦，我媽媽冇過，你呢幾點啊？我呢兜住試過，你下子
The
啊，
hotel on the left side of the boat opened in 2007. It's named after Barb Herzog. Barb was a polka band leader. He lived his life here in Frankenmuth and was known around the world. His wife was involved in building the hotel and named it after him.
cho tôi này lâu
It
nữa.
took some time to complete the structure. Because of the small size of the property, all the parking had to be under the building. The brick building on the left for over 100 years was a brewing company. It opened in 1862 as Cass River Brewing. It later became Geyer Brothers. They brewed Frankenmuth beer and also Pioneer Ale. In 1996, they were still in business. A tornado came through Frankenmuth, did a lot of damage, and also destroyed several homes. It destroyed a good part of this building. Today, it is Frankenmuth
Cái
Brewery's
một
restaurant.
hột lê vậy. Một lê nhau
Also up
một
ahead of us on the left is a red brick building and some silos. That is Star of the West Milling Company. Star of the West is a major supplier in the United States of flour that's used for making pipe rust and also cookies. And that's because they mill Michigan white wheat, which is very
rồi
low
chị
in
khen
gluten
là
and is
là chị
ideal
lột
for
rồi
that
chị uống
purpose.
được đó.
If you've ever had any Sara Lee products or Pepperidge Farm products or perhaps a pie from McDonald's restaurant, you've had Star of the West flour. The company is named after a Civil War ship.
Company.
Over 100 years old. That large silo on the hill holds 260,000 bushels of wheat.
Quả nhiên
And that's only a
nó
22-day supply of wheat for the mill.
tụ sang rồi cái tụ sang rồi.
ขนมน่ะแต่พวกคุกกี้นอนลูกหมอน่ะ
Khi mình cả ta company sẽ mua cả tụ sang rồi.
This river has a
Phan kỳ ta company nữa.
along the seawall.
Thầu bên nhà tết chơi rồi cái company của cô ta.
Pointing at the wrong thing. Back in there. I don't see it. Along the seawall back there. This river has a lot of turtles in it. Turtles like to lay in the sun because they're cold-blooded, helps them
Bao ta
digest
sẽ là
food.
hạt lát trên này
River
hạt
also
tụ
is
sang
home to
đâu.
one of the largest freshwater turtles in North America. The spiny soft-shells. Spiny soft-shells, besides being large, have another reason to be famous. They're one of the fastest turtles on land. If you go online and simply type in super fast turtle, First thing that pops up in the video, the spiny soft-shell running.
Nên bông giống mà
Scary.
bông có cực có
Turtles shouldn't go that fast.
bông giống phận giống con bông đủ rồi
On the right side of the boat, this heritage park looks a lot like any other city.
con nó là trang trí oxy thế này
But it's also
ta
the
mà
site
mua
of
cái nói
music
bé ta
festivals
bộ của
throughout the
nó
year. The four largest
có
are the
nhiều
Bavarian
mấy cái tao
Festival,
to
the
là
Music Fest, the Oktoberfest, and the
cái món
Auto
gì cái
Fest.
mẹ tuân được bên gì
The
là
Auto Fest
ao
attracts 2,000 automobiles in
cái
the
mà mặc
park
thay
every
lên nó
year.
màu
Classic automobiles. It's one of the neatest family events in Frankenmuth. Also, the Oktoberfest is the only one outside the original in Munich, Germany, that's sanctioned by the German government. The first Oktoberfest was held in Munich in 1810 as a 3-week
giờ
celebration of the
cái nhau
flag
chế sẽ được cái chỉ trong mình chỉ tên nó lối giờ luôn
It's still
tôi chỉ
held
là tôi
every
xả lên
year
là không
today, and it's the world's
tôi chỉ tôi
largest
tôi tôi
public
diễn có
celebration.
số là
Neither that one nor the one in
có chỉ tôi được
Frankenmuth are
bên
held
gì
in
nè
October, even though they're both called Oktoberfest.
giờ có chụp xưa có chỉ tôi tên nó
Simply
giờ
because the weather is better.
Like you can buy a
A large blue and white building in Heritage Park on the right is the Harvey Fair Pavilion, built in 2005. One of the reasons was to help eliminate the need for tents for festivals that require the use of several very large, expensive rented tents. It helps with that cost, also gives a top indoor venue that can be used in the winter. The pavilion has a capacity of 5,000. On the right, over by the shore of the deck, and there's a little stump sticking out of the water. There's a turtle, at least one turtle in it, anyway.
nó đền đồ là có lúc chơi
Small dock up into the
Tiền cơ.
sun right, which complicated. Just
Ôi,
has
cho
a
lụt
unique
chùa hả?
design. It's good for the someone even in a wheelchair has the opportunity to possibly launch and redock their own kayak or canoe using the seat system, the handrails, and the roller bed.
một chiều xịt nó nói là có một chiều
Heritage
xịt
Park on the right
Your
is
little
a
kid.
building park in Frankenmuth. On the left side is another park. Big boulder on the shoreline over there. If you look behind that boulder, as we go by, you'll see a path going back in, and way back in there is a road. On the other side of that road is another park. That's Memorial Park. Memorial Park is a large park. It's very hilly. Has fantastic sledding hills in the wintertime. It also has a band shell in it. The band shell is built into a really neat bowl area in the park. Out in front of it is a sloping grass area that slopes down toward the stage.
cái xe de nó thì
You
cho
can
cái
go there on Sunday
cái phố luôn cái mình
in
không có hàng
summertime.
cái mình tôi có tặng
At 7 o'clock, there's a concert there every Sunday. If the weather is right.
You'll
And it's
fall
all
off.
free.
rồi
That park
Chính
also
xác.
has a splash pad in it. Heritage Park on the right, back before it was a park, it was a swamp.
chân tông nó dùng sợi cho to nè chân tông nó nè
They decided to fill it in, plant grass in it. Good idea. The sidewalk you see in the park on the right is 8/10 of a mile long. It moves all the way around the park.
nó chân nó
That moves how many times you go around.
There's a dock.
Figure 8/10 of a mile.
There's another dock.
Up ahead of us on the right,
nhiều đồ
trees
tiền mò
up on a higher bank, and right of those trees are hundreds of acres of farmland that goes on for several miles. Left side of the river, much lower elevation, there's a road on that side I mentioned before. That road's about 900 feet in edge of water, and there's some homes all in there. So in essence, you're looking at their backyard. We're in a home top of the water, and not because it gets flooded several times every year. But it's a safe place for deer. No one hunts back in there because of the proximity of homes, and we have plenty of food. So between here and where we
từ
park
một chiếc
around,
phủ luôn bông chế sau thì không có
could be on either
bông
side.
đủ xe
I don't know. Rip the bag.
ô chân tông nó chờ cho tiền cho tôi uống nè sao mà bây giờ là thì là mua sốt lôi lại sốt lôi chạy lắm tutto c'è la zona di
On the right, back in the trees, the small yellow building you see is the Frankenmuth woodcarver's